enhanced by the musical accompaniment of my dear friends. This story is called When You Dressed Up Sharp and Felt All Right. A few days after my 16th birthday, I lost my Rocky Horror virginity. It was in a shitty little duplex theater in Van Nuys, California. I had wanted to see Rocky since I was probably 10 or 11, and my mom drove the two of us past a marquee advertising a midnight showing every Saturday. Turns out that it was at the Newark in Santa Monica. Last night, the guy yells out, "Did you see it at the Newark?" And I made fun of him because I didn't see it at the Newark. And then on the way back to my hotel last night in Seattle, I remembered that's where I saw the marquee. So retroactively, sorry guy I made fun of in Seattle last night. But really, achievement unlocked, knocked out memory from years ago. So I wanted to see Rocky since I was 10 or 11. And my mom drove us past a marquee advertising a midnight showing every Saturday. Now, my parents either couldn't or wouldn't tell me what it was about. My memory on that specific detail is hazy. And because they're here, I could ask them, but I won't. But anything that happened at midnight on a Saturday sounded awesome to me. The creepy lettering on the marquee and the word horror in the title served only to increase my anticipation. All right, settle in. A week or so after my birthday, my best friend Darren and I were at a place on Van Nuys Boulevard called Cafe 50s. Now these 1950s themed cafes were everywhere in the 80s. They were nearly as ubiquitous as yogurt shops. Some blame Stand By Me and Back to the Future for their popularity. This particular one was my favorite. Though I'd never actually been to a diner in the 50s, this one felt the most authentic. Which means that it copied what I'd seen in movies better than anywhere else, and it had Del Shannon's Runaway on the jukebox. I wonder why she ran away, and I wonder where she will stay. My little runaway, runaway. We gorged ourselves on patty melts and chocolate shakes and vanilla cokes and extra fries with ranch dressing and all those things you can eat when you're a teenager without feeling like you want to kill yourself when you're done. And we talked about all those things that seemed important after you discovered girls. Like, how to talk to one. Thereby instantly convincing her to take an unforgettable trip with you to second base for 16 seconds of commitment-free passion. I had been informed that's how it worked. We argued about the time travel paradoxes in Back to the Future. Like you do. We confirmed that quoting Monty Python to the 24-year-old waitress is not the best way to get a stand-up level when you're 16. Or ever. And we reluctantly admitted that Michael Keaton was a far better Batman than we had been prepared to give him credit for. Oh, hindsight, how I look through you and see how truly magnificent Michael Keaton actually was. In other words, it was a Saturday night like any other. And as midnight and the restaurant's closing drew nigh, our attention turned toward that most important of teenage activities, doing anything but going home. Hey, have you ever seen Rocky? Darren asked. Oh, God, I hate that stupid movie, I said. And the sequels are even worse. It's like, okay, we mean Rocky Horror? Oh, I said. No, but I've always wanted to. Let's play across the street at midnight, he said. We should go. Now, as quickly as I'd gotten excited to see it, I lost my nerve. Through the pre-Snopes grapevine that gave teens of my generation the truth about Mikey from life. Oh my God, dude, I heard that he died because he ate Pop-Rots and drank Coke. I had heard these tales of Rocky Horror virgins being deflowered in horrifyingly humiliating ways. Oh my God, this guy I know went to see it in Santa Monica, and they made him take off all of his clothes, and they wrote virgin on his chest in lipstick. I used my nonchalant voice. Don't they do things to people who haven't seen it before? I said, not really, he said. My best friend. But if you're worried about it, he said, I won't say anything. Okay, I said. Darren was 2 years older than me. He was 18, he was wise in the ways of the world. I knew that I could count on him to keep my secret shame between us. The waitress came back by our table. Can I get you guys anything else? Before I could demand a shrubbery and her phone number with equal chance of getting either, Darren said, could we get some slightly burnt white toast? The waitress and I gave him the same curious look. He smiled back enigmatically. 20 minutes later, with burnt toast in my pocket and butterflies swarming in my stomach, I bought my ticket. We stood in a line that grew to about 24 people, and we waited for the theater to open. I made nervous small talk with Darren, talking a little too loudly about the fantastic cast I had seen in, I think I chose Huntington Beach. The doors opened a few minutes before midnight. We walked into a theater that TARDIS-like seemed bigger on the inside than it appeared on the outside. Dirty blue and orange curtains hung on the walls. 2 aisles separated 3 groups of squeaky blue seats. The floor was painted navy blue. Blue seemed to be a recurring motif in this particular theater. And the floor was appropriately sticky. It's in the good old days before there was one movie theater in the world. We chose seats on the aisle near the back. I should have been freaked out when a guy sat down a few rows in front of us and lit up a cigarette in flagrant violation of the theater's rules and fire code. But the truth is, being a rebel adjacent excited me. The theater quickly got as full as it was going to get. It seemed that most of the audience members knew each other, especially the 4 people who huddled together at the front under the screen. A dude with long black hair and bright red lipstick emerged from the group, and he spoke to the audience. I'm just a sweet transvestite, transsexual, Transylvania. Now, I can't remember exactly what he said, because as he began, a hand tapped me on the shoulder. I looked up, and I saw the most phenomenally beautiful girl I had ever seen standing in the aisle. She had shiny black hair and a Betty Page haircut, bright green eyes, full red lips.